so we can all, I can share this also, Mirela, with you afterwards. We're so fortunate today to have Mirela Sula joining us from London. Mirela Sula is the CEO and founder of Global Woman Magazine and Global Woman Club. Mirela has worked in media and education for the last 20 years and has a speaking experience from all around the world. Her background is in psychology and counseling, journalism, teaching, coaching, women's rights, and media training. Mirela is also the organizer of the Global Woman Summit and Global Woman Awards. She has appeared on London Live TV, BBC Radio, Woman's Hour, Sky TV, and has also been featured in the Evening Standard and The Guardian, popular of course, in the UK, and has also been featured in, and her last self-help book, Don't Let Your Mind Go, was a bestseller and also published in America and Turkey. It was in 2015 when Mirela created Global Woman Magazine. If I'm not mistaken, Mirela, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe your inaugural woman on the cover was Dua Lipa. Is that correct?
Yeah, the latest issue of Global Woman Magazine was with Dua Lipa, yes.
Okay, the latest one. Okay, great. Yeah. And for those that do not know, Dua Lipa is originally from Kosovo. She's Albanian from Kosovo, but of course, has been living in the UK for, I think, majority of her life. And maybe Mirela will want to talk a little bit about that. By the end of 2019, Mirela had created 27 global woman clubs all over the globe, and she has helped hundreds of women unlock their potential, set up their goals, and achieve their dreams. Mirela has received many awards for her work, including the Inspirational Award for Women 2015 for Human Rights, the Best Up-and-Coming Inspirational Influencer Award from the Best You in 2017, and the Universum Donna Award 2017 from the Universum Academy of Switzerland. Mirela is passionate about empowering women worldwide and always stands up for inclusion, diversity, gender balance, and supporting the next generation, something that, of course, we are passionate about, moving things forward with here at Texas A&M and at Mays Business School. Her mission is to grow the global movement and improve the future of millions of women around the world. Without further ado, let's welcome Mirela Sula to Mays Business School via London. Woo! Welcome to Aggie, Mirela.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yes. And I want to ask you, so, one of the things I like to do when we do it in this format is I think it gives our audience a real chance to kind of get to know the person a little bit more than just, what's made them successful. So I think it's always kind of fun as sort of a first question is to ask the individual, what is a typical day look like in the life of Mirela Sula? Maybe pre-COVID and currently.
Oh, the actual day. Of course, my days have my routine. Every day keeps changing as I keep growing as well, and I keep learning because everything is about learning. Definitely 1 hour is my power hour. Now, when I say it's changing, because I'm trying to make that 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And recently, yes, I have managed to make sure that until 10 a.m., I don't give that time to anybody. I just give it to myself. And what do? That is an act of love for myself. And this is the most amazing thing that every single person, especially women, can do and should do. Because we as women put ourselves at the bottom of the list all the time, and we just try to please everybody. Now, what I have learned is first give that love to myself and please myself and be nice and be a good babysitter, a good parent with myself. Because most of the time we complain that probably we didn't have that love from our parents, we didn't have that love from the past in our childhood or whatever. Okay, fine, we didn't. At least now we should be conscious we give that love to ourselves. And most of the people that I have met in my journey, especially women, they don't know how to find that love for themselves. They don't know how to turn that love to themselves. So I have been in that place where I didn't know how to love myself because I was raised with the idea that I'm stupid, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth. I always wanted to seek for validation from the outside. So I didn't have that self-esteem and that self-confidence to take decisions and make choices on my own. So that's why I feel so excited now that I have learned to be nice with myself. And the very first hours of the day I dedicate it to myself only, which means I do a minimum 30 minutes meditation, at least 20, but it can go 30, 40 minutes meditation now because I love meditation. Ideally, if you don't have that much time, 2-3 hours a day to dedicate it yourself, 1 power hour is a must. You can't negotiate with that, which means 1 power hour is 20 minutes meditation, 20 minutes reading, and 20 minutes exercising. Now, I've been taking myself in this journey first, of course, with the meditation. The meditation has opened so many doors for me. I'm a good reader, absolutely a great reader, but I haven't been a good exerciser. So when COVID came, that really hit me. I just found myself sitting for hours and hours in front of the computer. And then I started having problems with my shoulder. And that was a sign. And sometimes we wait until something happens to make some changes in our life. And we should not wait for that. But that was my case. I became aware, I became conscious that something needs to change in my life, in my routine. And I changed that. Now I exercise 1 hour a day. And that has completely changed my life because I look younger, I look more beautiful, I look healthier. I feel I have a lot more energy. People just stop me and say, oh my God, what have you done? You look amazing. And we ladies, we love that, especially when you are approaching 50. So this is how my day starts. And then, of course, I have a global team. I have my team all over the world. I have a team in Dubai, a team in India, and a team in Albania, which are the core team. Of course, in London, in the UK, is the main team, the biggest team. But also I have a team of my directors all over the world. I have even in US, I have in New York, in Chicago, in LA, and then I have in Africa, in Australia, in Europe, all over. So I have to make sure that I coordinate with my team. And I've created some systems and processes which makes my life a bit easier. But for a while, when I started my business, it was a chaos, I have to say. Now it's everything is falling into the place. I actually right now also we have this my son in the house. He is a student as well. He's studying biomedical science, and it's nice to spend some time with him as well. And I'm always a people's person, and I spend a lot of time with my friends. London is beautiful, even though, as I was saying behind the scenes, the weather is not that great today. Who gets bored with London gets bored with life. So I love London, and I use every single moment of my day as it is the last moment, and I want to enjoy everything. I enjoy every minute of my day, absolutely.
That's great. I mean, there's some real good, I think just from that first question alone, I think all of our women, I think we're able to get some real good nuggets and some good, just things to kind of live their everyday by. That's excellent. So how hard has it been for you to start a new life as a single mother in a new country? For those that do not know, Mirela comes from Shkodra, Albania, which is a beautiful part of northern Albania. It's along the drive that we used to take regularly from Pristina to the seaside in either Albania or in Montenegro. It's a lovely place. But of course, Mirela has lived now in London for many years. How hard was it for you to start a new life in a new country as a single mother?
Well, interesting enough is I came here as a student. I came to study my PhD. So I came here with a student visa with my son. He was a teenager at that time. I mean, I came here 9 years ago. In September is 9 years. So I came here as a single mother. I thought I knew English, but oh my God, I'm telling you, the English accent, I was just trying to understand what they're talking about, but it really took me a while to understand, especially their accent and their humor. And I must say that the first 2 years have been really, really tough. I had to pay for my studies. I had to pay for everything to cover for myself and for my son. And it is really, really hard. Even if you are not in a student visa, it's hard to be a single mother in this country. And I was not allowed to work more than 20 hours a week. And if you want an honest answer, I was many times so close to go homeless because I didn't have the money to pay the rent. I didn't want to go back. That's not never an option for me. For me, it's like I burn the bridges, and whatever it takes, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. So I knew even in these dark moments when I felt like I'm alone, I have no support, I feel lost. It's a big, huge, massive country, big world, and I was asking myself hundreds of questions: who I am, what I'm looking for, what do I want, where do I go, what is my purpose, all these kind of existential questions. It was hard. It was absolutely devastating, especially to see that my son as well was not happy, because I moved him from a very comfortable life, a luxury life with his friends, his father, and now he found himself in a transition period of his journey as well, because he was only 13 when he moved here, living in a studio flat with nothing, and with a mother who somehow, even though I never said to him, I will, it's hard, but he could see. I didn't need to say him anything. And yeah, I think everything happens for a reason. And I was prepared for that. I was absolutely determined to go through all these kind of adversities, because I had adversities. I mean, I will not say adversity, what I went through here. I had adversities in my life, so many. So everything that I was going through this journey here in this country, I would say, what else I have not tried and I haven't made it happen. So I have just to be patient and wait, because all these dark moments come there for a reason and come to teach us something and to give us a lesson. And well, the rest is history, because now I've been 9 years in this country. Very soon after, I see myself finding a job, and then starting a business, and then growing a business, and then moving into a bigger house and a bigger house and a bigger place and a bigger street, and traveling with first class, and staying in 5-star hotels, and traveling all over the world, and building teams and having fun and creating friends. And it feels like, oh my God, is that my life? Is that my journey? Is that me? Because everything, it's changed, it's transformed as exactly as I had the vision, because I had a vision that I wanted to follow, and I'm so glad I stayed loyal to it, because now I'm living it.
Wow, that's truly inspirational. Before you started Global Woman Movement, you had many hats: psychologist, writer, journalist, human rights activist. What inspired you to create Global Woman?
Well, you know, it's sometimes I think it's meant to happen, because since I was a child, I had this passion to stand for women. I don't like the word fight, because I don't like fighting, but to stand for what is fair, for what is right, but in my own way. And from the very beginning, I started visualizing how life would be if I moved myself from this village, because at that time I was living in a village, and I was serving a big family of 11 people in the house, 8 of them men. I was washing and cleaning and cooking and serving and all these kind of things, which was great at that time, but things change. And I always have this this famous quote that I keep using it for 15 years now, saying, if you don't like where you are, just move. You are not a tree. Your trees are destined to stay where they are, because they can't move. They are just stuck there. But we are not supposed to be stuck. We have to get ourselves out of that stagnation, and nobody's going to do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. So I remember I started reading all these big iconic names like Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Robert Kiyosaki, Kim Kiyosaki. Probably if you're studying business, you know some of them, they're really big in business. And I started visualizing, wow, how my life would be if I start changing, moving, because I want to change. I want to change my life. And this is how my life started changing, from one little place to a bigger place, and then to a bigger place. And I moved to the capital city of Tirana. And then one day I see that Albania is open to travel and to that freedom, because I was raised in that generation that we were under the communist regime and we're not allowed to leave the country. So that was another thing that could give me the encouragement to fly, because I was not a tree. And when I had this flashback that I want to do something global, yes, you're right. I had so many hats because I was trying to find myself. I was a writer. I had published a lot of books. I was a psychologist, and that to be a psychologist was more to heal myself, because I went through severe depression after I lost my first child, and it was a bad grief and nobody could help me, and I had to help myself. So I decided to study psychology. And then I became editor-in-chief of Psychologist magazine. I invested a lot in the media. I've been working in the media for years. And then I ended up being leading networking for women equality in decision-making and encouraging more women in the parliament and standing in their power. So I was doing a lot of things, and I think everything was just trying to find myself. Who am I? And until you start exploring, you don't know who are you. That's why I find it very interesting when young people come and say, I don't know who am I, what I'm supposed to do, where do I go, what I'm going to become. I said, hey, especially when they say, what is my purpose? Hey, hello, you're still young. I'm 50, and sometimes I ask myself, do I know my purpose? Don't worry about that. You don't need to know your purpose from now. You just follow something, just do something. It doesn't mean that you have to run. At least don't get stagnated, don't get stuck. Just do something, move, because even if you're in the wrong direction, you're learning something. It's much better than doing nothing. And then the road will teach you, the road will guide you. What is next? You don't need to know. All you need to kind of visualize it. What is the biggest vision in your mind that you would like to reach? What is that big, powerful vision? And then your job is not to know how to get there, just to know that there is something. As an A-star, and this is what I also discuss with my team, I'm looking for A-star players. An A-star student, she or he needs to know is there is a grade called A-star. That's it. You don't need to tell anything else. The A-star student just need to know their target. And then they go and do whatever it takes to get that target. Don't blame the teacher or the lecturer or the parents or whatever. I remember I didn't have electricity in my house because for years we were struggling with electricity in Albania. And there was no way I could go and sleep without doing my homeworks or doing my stuff, even though my mother would say, come on, go and sleep now. You can't stay that late. And I would hide myself when my mother was sleeping. I would go and do my homework. This is called an A-star player. All you need to know, there is a target, and I'm going to get that target, whatever it takes, because that's my job, that's my responsibility. And this is what I have been searching all my life. Who am I? Where do I start? What do I do? Until I came back with this amazing breakthrough flash idea. I said, I want to stand for a global movement. But as I always say, and at the beginning, people were like kind of trying to understand, what do I mean? You stand where you sit. I hope it's making sense. So I'm sitting here in this chair, and if I stand, I can't stand there where you are. I just stand here where I'm sitting. That's why it's very, very important that you find your seat, you find your chair. If you want to stand for something big, go and find where is your chair. Where do you want to sit? Because the environment is so, so important. And you can't have also, another thing that is really important is this, your mindset. You can't have a big vision into a small chair or into a small mind. You have to invest in your mind and invest in the environment, the group of people who are going to influence you, inspire you, or impact your life. So that's why when I came to realize all these elements, and first of all, I said, okay, what do I want? I want to stand for a global movement. How do I incorporate all these investments that I have done in all my journey as a psychologist, as a journalist, as a writer, as a human activist? All these, how can they serve my purpose? How can they serve my vision? And I never stopped to look at my obstacles or limited beliefs that I could carry on from my past. And of course, there were a lot. I had to do a lot of internal work to clean it up and come here with no dramas, with no traumas, not thinking, oh, I'm Albanian, oh, I'm an immigrant, I'm a migrant woman, I don't have money, I don't have that. No, an A-star student never lists the things of excuses or obstacles. You just go and find a way. How do I get there? And the road will teach you. And I'm still in the journey. I'm still learning.
I love that idea of the A-star student. That's awesome. You managed to create, Mirela, 14 chapters of Global Woman Club in 12 months, all over the world. What's the secret?
Well, as I said, I'm a people's person, and everything has to do with people. When I moved to this country, and as I said, I was trying to find my place. Where do I start? It was very interesting everywhere I was going, because I started, first of all, I was hungry to learn. What do I need to do to build a business, or to build a platform, to build a community, to build a global team, to build a global vision? And now, but as I said, I never had a background in business, nobody in my family at all. And of course, even harder if you come as a student into a big country. I never had lived abroad before. And the very first thing I thought it's important for me to do, go and attend all these seminars, trainings, learning events where I could go and learn from these people who have made it. And I kept listening over and over again. 80% of the business is psychology. Okay. And then again, everything is psychology. And then again, everything is about people. I said, okay, if business is about psychology and people, then I think I can do it. Why not? I have a psychology background. I love people. I'm all the time connecting people, all the time. Even when I was not doing business, I'm a connector. And I thought, I'm going to try it. And this is what I did. I just started applying these principles of how to love people, how to take care of people, how to invest in people, how to create values for them, how to be there for them. And of course, creating that balance between them and myself. And then suddenly you just see, I remember when I started my business, I had no clue about the other 20%, like taxes and figures and numbers and finance. I had no idea. So I decided to go and attend some courses on that as well. And I hear for the very first time somebody saying, you have to register for VAT, but in America, I think it's tax. And so what is this thing called VAT? I never heard about it. And I'm supposed to know because I had a business. So I remember I called my accountant and I asked him, I said, I'm here in a seminar and I'm trying to learn to understand what is this thing called VAT. And said, don't worry, Mirela, don't worry. That is next year. That is when you reach 100,000 pounds. And I said, no, he didn't tell me that first. So don't worry, next year. Now I attend another seminar I think in a couple of weeks. And I was networking with some people and they tell me for the very first time, I get to know that if you don't pay the VAT, you get a penalty. And then what I had to do is to call my accountant again and say, hey, please help me because these people are telling me that I will get a penalty if I don't pay the VAT. And he said, don't worry, I told you that happens only when you reach 100,000 pounds in your business. And I said, please, can you check my bank account? Because I have no idea what is going on. And 1 week later, guess what happened? He calls me and said, oh my God, me and you, we have to talk. What is this bloody hell global woman doing? What is this thing? Is it operating global? He said, yes, it's called global. Why are you surprised? And guess what? I didn't know that I had reached 6-figure business in the first 2-3 months. So what I'm trying to say here, not to tell you that don't worry about figures and numbers. Absolutely, you have to worry about that. But the most important thing is the vision and the people. Because how did I grow that is all you need is 2 or 3 people that are loyal and believe in your vision and wants to embrace your vision and want to work with you. And this is what I did. I studied leadership. I think I have, study this. One of the books I saw was here. And I said, okay, great. I'm applying leadership, psychology, communication, people. I got a couple of ladies together. I told them what I have in my mind. Of course, in my bank account, when I started, before I started the business, when I started with a vision, was minus, not zero. I had no clue how I was going to make it happen. And I remember I had a coach, which I paid. And I left in tears because I felt like my money was wasted because this guy told me, you're not normal. I said, why? So you have to come down to earth. You don't live in this world. You are not in this reality. I said, why? Because what you're talking, it doesn't make sense. This is how you're going to make it happen. Abracadabra. Do you have any magic stick? You're going to build a global movement and you don't have food in the table for your son? And I left in tears. So I went into my dark zone and then I found my corner, meditate, love myself, don't listen to these people, keep going. You're going to meet a lot of psycho vampires on the way. They are going to tell you it's not possible. And you know what? Not because they hate you, because it's not possible for them. Doesn't mean it's not possible for you. And I understand it. For that guy, it was impossible, even though he was calling himself #1 coach, blah, blah, blah. Should I have listened to him? No, that was my vision, was not his. For him, it was absolute impossible because he's still in that corner. And guess what I did? I blocked him everywhere. I didn't want to see him anywhere because I saw every time I could see him would remind me that I'm not able to do it. I didn't want that. I surrounded myself with people who believed on me, who told me, oh my God, this is amazing. Yes, of course, you can do it. And I'm so glad I did it because from the day that I started, I remember I launched the first club in September 2017. Yes. And at the end of 2017, we had 14 countries, which I had traveled, organized 14 conferences around the world, and built thousands and thousands of women in my community. Train all the leaders around the world, all these amazing regional directors, how to run a community, how to do monthly meetings with women, and how to empower women. And since that time, we never stopped.
What a story. That's awesome. I couldn't agree with you more too. Just delete those negative people from your life. Full stop.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I share your love for connecting people.
Oh, yes, I have seen that.
Awesome. So Mirela, you've built an empire, Global Woman Magazine Club, Summit, awards, business school, book projects, media training. How do women benefit from these projects?
Okay, here's the thing. When you, as you asked me before, you have so many hats. Especially women have a lot of hats. So raise your hand if you have many hats, my ladies. So many. And sometimes you don't know, where do I start? I'm good in this and I'm good in that. I'm great in that. And then you doubt yourself, of course. And then we go back, say, oh, I'm not sure I'm good enough. Now, as I invest, I have been investing in all my life in my journey as a writer, as a psychologist, as a speaker, as a publisher, all kind of things that I experimented in my life. And when I then decided what I'm going to do, I didn't want to waste any of these things that I have been already invested. And the good news is nothing is wasted. Nothing. Everything you have done, even one tiny little thing that you may think, oh, that doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal. That's a good news. Everything that we have invested in the past, we can recycle it, we can repurpose it, and we can bring it for other people to benefit into it. Because you know it doesn't mean that everybody knows about it. Now, this is what I did. I started one at a time. At the beginning, I started with what I feel confident and I'm good at. I started with a magazine. And very soon after, because I was interviewing all these amazing women for my magazine, I decided to bring them together so they can meet each other. And as a result of that, we came with the idea of the club. So how about we meet regularly, every month, every week, not just for Women's Day. And this is how the club was born. But then as we meet every week and every month, then we thought, how about we meet once a year into a big summit? So I created all these chapters around the world. And once a year, we decided to bring all the chapters together and organize the summit. But then the COVID came and I had to stop traveling. I was absolutely traveling like crazy. And I remember in December 2019, end of December, I was coming from Miami. I was at the Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. Who knows Tony Robbins? If you don't, please go and follow him. It will change your life. And I was exhausted because I had been traveling, oh my God, like crazy. For 3 months, I couldn't come home. I was Dubai, Singapore, South Africa, and then went back to Bucharest and then back to Miami. And it was like, I remember I was at the airport with Tony Robbins. You don't have time to sleep. You start the event at 9 a.m. and you finish at 1 a.m. And you even don't have time to go to toilet because you don't want to miss any minute. You just stick for hours and hours learning and energizing yourself. But when we finished, I am at the airport like exhausted. And I remember, because I'm a very loudly person, as you can see, I was doing a live video in the airport and saying, where is my PA? If she's looking at this video right now or the recording, please cancel all my trips in 2020. I am exhausted. I don't want to travel anymore. And then COVID came. And as a result of that, I had to pivot all my business online. Now you may want to ask me, are you good in technology? No, not at all. At the beginning, I told you my son comes and fixes my computer. But you don't need to be good in everything. And you don't need to be good in, let's say, in technology to run for example, last year I organized the Global Women Tech Forum. And it's there where I launched the first app, the very first app, 2 weeks after COVID. It was Global Women app, which now has over 30,000 members. And they are part of that social media for women. And then I created a portal for our premium members, and I created a dashboard, a special unique platform for students, women students, we call them students, to learn about business and leadership and management and all kinds of things that we learn every day. So I turned everything into a technical tech platform. And it has been such a journey to see all these amazing elements coming together where women can benefit. And they do benefit because we do online networking events almost every day. We have a learning platform, which is Global Women Academy, and they can go and access masterclasses. Every week we release a new masterclass. And we have the magazine, and we give them a microphone to speak in different stages at the summit or to share their story in different magazines, because I believe women more than everything need to decide to get themselves out of the corner, not to hide anymore, put themselves into the spotlight and get the visibility and the exposure they deserve, because the world needs women to be seen, to be heard, and be active.
Yes, no doubt about it. And just more all over the place. In particular, I think here in the US, we need top women to stand up because, man, good things happen when it happens.
Well, thank you. Thank you for supporting that, Richard.
Yeah.
That's very kind. When we find men like you that give women more encouragement for that visibility, it's great.
Well, I got to tell you, you really don't have to look much further than, you look at some of these countries that have been just unbelievably successful, often led by women. I mean, I'm just telling it the way it is. Maybe painful for men, government people to listen to or to hear, but it's fact.
Let me say something on that.
Yes, please.
I remember I was interviewing a head teacher here in London, and what a gentleman. And at the end of the interview, he ended saying this. I'm not saying that, he said that. He said, we left the world in the man's hand and we messed it up. Now it's time for the ladies to take that responsibility. So please help us. And I believe that there is a big truth on that, because we have to help you guys.
Yeah, there's a mess in Afghanistan if anybody wants to start there. Wow. Mirela, how can women find their purpose and start their own movement?
Okay, that's a $1 million question. First of all, you need to make sure, shake yourself and evaluate the situation where you are. Are you awake? Because the world is separated in two parts. One part of the world is full of sleepers, and one part of the world is with people who are awake or people who are awakening up every single day. Now, you have to know in which part of the world you belong and believe. If you are awake, you have to, how do you know if you are awake? Yeah, you have to ask to do that evaluation. It's going to take me a long time if I stop on that, but let's suppose you're awake. And one of the biggest signs that you're awake is when you ask yourself these existential questions. And this is what I did for myself when I was sleeping and sleeping and sleeping in my ignorance. And I thought, I am happy, stupidly happy, living in that corner and doing what other people told me to do, and believing in these values that were not serving me, right? Then I started asking myself a question, am I happy? If I'm not happy, if you are not happy, what you need to do apart from moving because you're not a tree, check your values, because your values have a big, big say on your happiness. So my values at that time were shut up your mouth, wash and clean, please your husband, do what I say, and that's it. And then when I found myself unhappy, I said, okay, I need to check my values then. And these values were keeping me sleeping. I was sleeping. So I had to awake myself with very powerful existential questions. What do I want to do in my life? What am I doing with my life? How I'm using all these gifts and all this energy and my presence to this planet. Am I doing something, or I'm just waiting for something to happen from the sky, or just then otherwise just I get to be retired and that's it. I didn't serve anything to this planet. Once you get awake and you start believing that there is something inside you that you can start activating and you can start using and you can start repurposing and doing something with it, then that is a very good step. And you know what happens once you start asking these questions? Because this is where you realize that you have some ambition inside you, and many people don't have that ambition. I was all the time, even when I was a kid, I said, why do these people live where they live? Why do these people don't do something with their life? So you have to have a kind of ambition inside you to do something with your life. And that is when you start recognizing something in you. And you know what is the biggest ability as human being, as us, as human being, we have? I would like to ask you, what is the biggest ability that we as human beings have? Can somebody answer? Would somebody like to volunteer just to, yeah, there is no right and wrong, by the way, just whatever you think. What is the biggest ability that we have as a human being? You can put it to the chat probably.
Yeah, or you can go ahead and unmute yourself and answer that question.
If you are shy to take the mic, fine, but I would encourage you, please take the mic and don't worry, there is no right and wrong. Otherwise, you can put it into the chat. Okay, one is saying choice.
Yes, choice.
Empathize,
Adaptability.
connect,
Learn.
adapt.
Learn.
Say again.
Learn.
To think. Yeah.
I think it's the ability to be compassionate towards each other, like respect.
Yeah, absolutely. That's nice as well.
Do mistakes and learn.
Learn. Learn. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Learning is another thing. Yeah.
I would have
Make an
said
impact in
I would have said
society.
communicate.
Communicate. Yes, of course. Everything that you said is absolutely spot on. Everybody is right. Now, according to me, what is the biggest ability that we as human beings have is the ability to recognize that we have abilities. Many people have no clue they have abilities. They just paralyze themselves. And for me, that was a mind-blowing. Said, oh my God, I have abilities. And I never had the ability to recognize I have this ability. And the thing that you don't see doesn't mean it's not there. It is there, it's hidden somewhere inside you, but you have to have the ability to see it, to claim it, to take ownership of it, to take possession of it. Only when you have taken possession of something of kind of knowledge, then you are able to share. Why, for example, Richard is able to share knowledge with his students? Because he has taken possession of his knowledge, he has taken ownership of his knowledge, and then he can share the knowledge. Because he is able to recognize that ability that he has. If we don't know the abilities, we can't do anything with that. And this is how we find our purpose. The very first time we have to recognize that we have some kind of abilities on something. It can be anything. Then the second one is we definitely want to start searching for more, desiring more, wanting more. There is always a next level, next level, next level. And then you realize very soon, because you search, you learn a lot. And you know what happens when you learn? You become an expert. And once you become an expert, you are in a position of doing more for other people. And if you do more for other people, you become an influencer. You influence other people's life for good. You have no idea how hundreds of messages I receive all the time saying, oh my God, just one video here or one article here or one interview here. It can be one word. It can be one movie. It can be one book. It can be one seminar. It can be one thing, one sentence, one quote. It can change your life. But the thing is, you have to be consistent. From the moment that you wake up, don't go back. Keep moving. There is no way to go back. You definitely want to do something with your life because it's amazing. Once you discover that, oh my God, you are going to love it. Once you have found your purpose, there is nothing or nobody that can stop you to reach it. But keep searching for it.
Those are great words of wisdom. And I got to tell you, just in the time that we've known each other, Mirela has connected me with several very top women. And they immediately got back to me and obviously spoke very highly in those emails of you, Mirela. So it's clear to me that you are a true influencer on other top women. And I'm sure they also influence you in different ways as well. And that's powerful, I think, when that connection, when that takes place, it's really powerful stuff and big things can happen as a result of that.
Oh, the people, you know, you have to surround yourself with the right people. You are the average of 5 people you spend most of the time. Just make a list of people that you are spending the time. 5 people. Who are these 5 people? These
Yeah.
people can make you or break you.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Look, I of course I have, you know, a few other questions I'd like to ask. However, I want our women in the audience to be able to spend the rest of the time asking you questions. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to them. If you'd like to ask Mirela a question, you can unmute and ask your question directly, or if you want to put it in the chat, I'm happy to ask for you, whichever you prefer. She'd probably like to hear directly from you though.
May I go ahead?
Please,
Yes,
Sharanya.
please.
Yeah. Mirela, I think yours was a very, very inspiring story, especially for women like me. And I think you've heard this many times in the past, so it doesn't hurt to hear it again. But when I heard your story, I just wanted to understand one thing. You said you were, you were struggling to meet the finances and to make a life for yourself and for your son. And parallelly, you were also trying to do this global outfit for women. How did you manage to raise the resources for it?
That is a question that I have heard hundreds of times. You know, I think you're studying MBA, yes, and studying business. And probably you know, I don't need to teach you. If you are thinking to start the business, money is the least thing that you should worry about. Money is at the bottom of the list. You may have a lot of money, a lot from your parents or funders or whatever. And if you put the money at the top, but you haven't done the rest of the homework, that money is going to go. That money is going to be wasted. Now, I had a big belief on what I stand for. And I knew that I had to be patient, and it's not going to happen overnight. And it's a long story, but when people started asking me these questions, or I started hearing, because from being really in a bad place, of course, it didn't come overnight, but people don't see the iceberg below. They just see the surface. They haven't seen how much I have been struggling before I got to the top. And I hear people saying, who is funding you? Who is sponsoring you? Who is, where are you finding all these funding and money to travel 5-star and all these kind of build the movement? And at the beginning, I was like, how do I answer these people? And then one day I came, during my meditation, I came with my answer, which is the way I answer now. When we are born with a bank. There is a bank, and I call it mental bank, this one. So this is a powerful bank, and everything that you need, you just ask this and it can give you everything. Now, when I learned how to use this, all I needed to do is just, I need some money. I put my credit card here. So first, you want to know what is the project about, how much money you need, you raise the money, and then you go and do it. It's not about, how do I say? Let's suppose you want the money for something. Let's suppose you want to write a book, or you want to start a project, whatever. Then, of course, you're going to make a plan. How are you going to finance that? What are you going to do? And sometimes it's very simple. Later on, I realized it was much simpler than I thought, because, okay, how much money you want? Let's suppose you need 3,000 pounds. 3,000 pounds are like 100 pounds a day. Come on, 100 pounds a day. I go and work in the street on cleaning the street or whatever. If I want something, that's the extreme example. But you just make the calculation. How much money you want for that particular thing. Now, here's the thing. You were given something from, I don't know, where you believe God or universe or let's suppose even the bank, if the bank gives you a loan, unless you have confirmed and you have kind of verified, or how do you say that you can demonstrate that you know how to manage that budget, the bank is not going to give you more money unless you have proven that you have learned how to manage that little budget that you already have. So what I'm trying to say here, if your knowledge, if your skills, if your experience, if your gifts, if your drive, if your calling, all this together is managed properly, and universe and God is watching you that you are managing it, it will be giving you little by little. At the beginning, we'll give you, before I give you the money, I want to see what are you able to do without money. And then you have to prove that you are able to do something without money, and then the money appears, I don't know, mysterious way. You have to ask my husband, oh my God, he's English, and all the time he said, he comes and tells on stage, I see Mirela crash into a big wall and she has nothing, just crash. And then a magic thing happens and the money appears. And I never worry about it because I believe that what I have has a big value and I have something to back me up. Have you read Paulo Coelho? Just read the book, Alchemist. If you really, really want and desire something from the bottom of your heart, the whole universe works on your favor. And if you stay loyal to what you have started, in the storm, in the tsunami, in the rain, in the sun, in the struggle, in everything, and you say, I am not going to give up, I know in the last minute something is going to happen and it's going to be amazing. You have to believe in yourself. Unless you have proven to your universe, to your God, to your bank, to your sponsor, to your trainer, to whatever, that you are really determined to do whatever it takes. Because otherwise, why you and not somebody else? Why you? Hundreds of people may have, hundreds and thousands of people may have the same idea as you are. When ladies come to me and say, oh, I have an idea, but I don't want to share it because people can copy it. Come on, the idea has no value at all. There is no value in the idea. The implementer has the value. Hundreds of people can copy what I'm doing. Nobody can copy me or you. So you have to awake yourself, take yourself in a journey, believe in yourself. Even when you meet these psycho vampires who tell you, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and say, watch me. And the money will come. You'll raise the money. I raised the very first money for my very first conference in the crowdfunding. And I was going after everybody. This is a crowdfunding. You have to learn sales. I coach and train women all over the world. They start a business and they come to me and say, oh, I'm not here for the money. I said, okay, is this a charity? I said, no, this is a business. I said, then how are you going to run your business if you don't learn how to make money? You have to increase the ability to make money. You are responsible to make your money. And one big thing that I really love from my best mentor ever, Kim Kiyosaki, follow her, Robert Kiyosaki, Kim Kiyosaki. She is the best mentor that has changed my life. And also my rich mama, Veronica Tan, I want to thank her. And they told me one thing, a man is not a financial plan. Ladies, keep that in mind. A man is not a financial plan. Make a plan on your own. Because you know what happens? I've seen so many women, I work with many projects of domestic violence, women devastated because they lost everything, because they were dependent on their men and they went on the street or in the shelters. You don't want to go there. Just think how powerful you are. You can have your own money. Now, don't take me wrong. If you find a wealthy husband, well done to you. That is a bonus. But learn how to make your own money.
Mirela, thank you for that. And another question also, how challenging was it to convince women when you met them at different countries, different platforms, different backgrounds? So did you find it challenging to convince them
Of
to believe
course.
in this?
You-
How did you approach them, and how did you manage to do that?
That's a very valid question, my darling. And I will tell you something. I started attending a lot of events myself. And at first I targeted events that were free, because this is the beauty of big cities. There are a lot of opportunities and you have to learn how to grasp opportunities. And when I started making a plan, how do I get the knowledge that I need? I started going in a lot of events, networking events, mainly targeting free events. And I started making a list of hundreds of things that I didn't like, not things that I liked. I was not there just to learn the knowledge. I had a lot of knowledge. I wanted to learn, how do they do this? How do they treat people? How do they organize? How do they make money? How do they make the profit out of it? Because I knew that was my kind of thing. And I was writing a list of things, what I do not like. There were many events that they made me cry. And many times I left the events going crying at home because I was judged, I was discriminated, I was treated very badly. And then later on, pick up myself, go to meditation, say, thank you for these people who treated me badly. They gave me the best lesson ever. I'm going to write it at the top of my list, how people should not be treated. And this is the things I'm going to do. I'm going to do things that I haven't seen anywhere else. I'm going to love these ladies. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to treat them as my soul sisters, genuinely, authentically. And women have a thing. You can't lie on them. We have intuition. You can tell a woman, oh, I love your hair. I love your dress. I know if that is fake or not. But if you say that from the bottom of your heart, that woman is going to love you back. And this is how I started, one at a time, by showing love to these ladies that they have been craving for it. And then they started, you know what happened? I remember at the beginning, it was by invitation only in my office. And I had some women who were not happy with me because they are not invited. And very soon after, I came with this idea, how about then I create an Eventbrite, a ticket. So people have to pay, women have to pay if they want to attend. I remember it was just before Christmas in end of 2016 for Christmas, when I started the first club in London. And I published just a week before Christmas, say, here is the link. Everybody is invited, buy your ticket. It was sold out within 24 hours. One of the ladies, I remember, she came, and that was a breakfast meeting. And she came from Germany, traveling by bus 22 hours because she couldn't find a ticket before Christmas. And when I remember I was asking the ladies, where are you coming from this part of London, from this? And then she was coming with a bag because she's in business with bags. She got some bags and she said, oh, I'm so glad I made it. I have seen this all over internet and now I'm here. I can't believe I traveled 22 hours. And then I started seeing women in January and February in months to come from Paris, Stockholm, Amsterdam, Vienna, New York, all over the world. They heard about it and they started attending. Said, I never had a kind of strategy. How do I, usually people think there is a map. Let's go in the map and decide where do we put Global Woman. I never had that strategy, ever. What happened is these ladies were coming. So, oh my God, I love it. I love it. How do I take this in my home country? Do you have one in Paris? No, let's do it. Do we have one in Amsterdam? No, let's do it. Do we have one in Chicago? No, let's do it. And this is how it started going viral. Now, I will tell you one more thing. I remember I was seeing the ladies signing up to be a member of Global Woman Club. And some of my team were interviewing them. And I go, what made you sign up and be a member of Global Woman? You just came, this is the first day. And we have that in the website as well, because we captured some moments. And one of the lady, I think that was in Oslo, in Norway, I see her saying, I have no idea. I have no clue what Global Woman is about. And I don't care. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's beautiful energy. And I want it. And I said, oh my God, she has no clue what Global Woman is about. And she's so excited that she paid $600 or $800. I don't know how much was that time. And she's not even questioning that. So if you provide something of value where people really value it, they never question.
Oh, Mirela, I think we're gonna have to have a
Oh yes, it's, oh my God, it's
I
1
think
hour
we're-
now.
I think we're gonna have to have a Mirela Sula #2 at some point. This was awesome, and you know, just so thankful for you taking time to speak with everyone. You know, one of the greatest things, you know, I personally get from having individuals like you on is you know, even being a man, listening to you, I get so many great ideas, you know, things I need to think about in my own personal life. You know, I've been trying to think of creative ways to monetize my network, to, you know, just you and I are going to have to talk.
Oh yes, let's go.
It's exciting. It's really exciting. And just, again, want to thank you for everyone that's here today. I only regret that they didn't have more opportunities to ask you questions, but I think that they would agree that, you know, your words were very inspirational and motivational for them. And just really much gratitude to you for taking time to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a great, great pleasure. You have a great group of students, human beings who are getting ready to rock the world and change the world. And it's incredible what you're doing. It's a big mission, and I support you on that. I really appreciate everything you do for these young ladies to encourage them to start their own journey and follow their own path and their own dreams and get the vision they want. So I would like to give a gift to everybody. I have my book, Don't Let Your Mind Go. It's really powerful. It's a best-selling book. I'm going to share the link here, and you can download this book for free if you want.
That's really great.
I think you'll like it.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard, for having me, and definitely we will talk.
Yeah, Mirela, and maybe we may have some students trying to reach out to you on LinkedIn to connect with you and to follow.
I'm everywhere. I am everywhere.
To follow everything that you're doing. So
Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, what else? Clubhouse, everywhere. Every single day you find me there.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much, Mirela. We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care, and promise me you are going to get yourself visible, okay? Lots of love. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.